The top stories for the hour. Prime Minister Abiy expressed gratitude for China's multifaceted support for Ethiopia. And African Urban Forum delegates expressed their inspiration from Addis Abeba's transformative developments. Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching ABC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism from the capital, Addis Ababa. Do stay tuned. I'll see you back. Welcome back. Now the news in full. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed attended the opening ceremony of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation. In the forum, China has announced partnerships in 10 areas of cooperation with Africa, including trade, industrial cooperation, health, agriculture, connectivity, green development, and security. According to the Office of the Prime Minister, these initiatives will allow Ethiopia to benefit from this cooperation framework. In related development, President Xi Jinping pledged to step up Chinese support to Africa, the world's second fastest growing continent, with funding of nearly 51 billion USD backing for more infrastructure initiatives and a promise to create at least 1 million jobs. The world's biggest two-way lender, Beijing, showed a desire to move away from funding big-ticket infrastructure and focus instead on selling to developing economies the advanced and green technologies in which Chinese firms have invested heavily. In another news from China, Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed met with Chinese President Xi Jinping during the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation Summit in Beijing. Prime Minister Abiy expressed gratitude for China's multifaceted support for Ethiopia's economy and social development, particularly in sectors such as agriculture, manufacturing, tourism, and telecommunications. He underscored Ethiopia's commitment to FOCAC as a key platform for Africa's modernization and global representation. President Xi Jinping praised the strong Ethio-China relations, describing them as an exemplary partnership between China and Africa. He reaffirmed China's commitment to expanding cooperation, particularly in building a rail-sea transport network in East Africa and enhancing Belt and Road initiatives in Ethiopia. Xi also expressed China's willingness to strengthen cooperation with global platforms like the United Nations and BRICS to promote international fairness. Both leaders focused on deepening the all-weather strategic partnership between Ethiopia and China, underscoring the need for closer coordination to achieve further progress. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed visits to China centered on fostering bilateral ties and participating in discussions aimed at advancing Africa-China cooperation through FOCAC.
Now, Ethiopia is all poised to vibrantly host the first ever African Cities Sustainability Forum. And this forum is being held under the theme of Sustainable Urbanization for Africa's Transformation Agenda 2063. As the founding member of the United Nations and the seat of the African Union, Ethiopia is all poised to cordially host this continental forum of African brothers and sisters, and Ethiopian Broadcasting Corporation will keep you posted. This is EBC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism.
Welcome back. You're still on ABC World as the news continues. Media professionals across from Africa attending the African Urban Forum praised the EBC Media Complex for its state-of-the-art equipment. They also highlighted Addis Ababa city development as a model for other African cities in addressing the challenge of growing urban population. Our reporter Sheikh Goyamato has more on this.
Media professionals from various African cities attending the African Urban Forum visited the new EBC Media Complex. Journalists from Kenya, South Africa and Ghana expressed their amazement at what they witnessed at EBC.
I think it's one of the best studios, or rather media house that I've gone to. I love the space, and I love the fact that you have studios for different things. You're not mixing. The entertainment has its own studio. You have the main studio for news, and the fact that you're doing, the Kings have their own channel. I think I love the whole idea about it.
You have a new environment, if I should put it that way. All the equipment I'm seeing here, I can see that they are very new. And you have various, we were told you have a different stations for the various languages. It's Oromia, Amharic, and others. So you can see it's very exciting.
I think it was very interesting to learn about one of the radio stations here that is about 91 years old. I think that's quite interesting. The radio station I work for, I think we're about 80, just over 80. So not as old as the radio station here. And I also learned that it was formed after the Adwa victory, right? Which I think is also quite interesting. So I think there's a lot of history and a lot of stories that can be told in Ethiopia and in EBC as well.
While touring various development projects in Addis Ababa, the journalists remarked that African cities should follow the example of Addis Ababa's large-scale development initiative.
We've gone around in different places. We went to the Women Rehabilitation Center. We went to Gulele project. The women are doing, they have a bakery, this dairy project, these a lot they are doing. And I love the fact that the buildings here, the way they are doing them, will accommodate more when it comes to urbanization, because it's estimated that by 2050, more people will be moving. That is 7 out of 10 people will be living in the urban centers. So I believe the way you guys are doing things, having the buildings, the ground floor, the first floor has it's commercial or rather business, and then the others are residential areas. I think it's going to help, it's going to work. And I think it's something that other African countries need to emulate if they are going to face this, the fact of people moving to urban centers, because it's going to be a challenge. I believe doing those buildings is going to help. And the development in this country, oh my, you're on another stage.
Sharing their views on the significance of hosting the African Urban Forum, they pointed out that the platform is vital to unite African leaders and experts to discuss and come up with solutions to build modern and comfortable cities to realize the transformation agenda.
The forum is a very good platform for the continent people to unite, to make sure they bring up issues that will address the challenges that we face as a continent in terms of our urbanization, the challenges that we face, so that we'll come together to draw a plan, discuss, and see the way forward so that we can have a better cities, well managed, that will bring employment as well as socio-economic advancement to our people across the continent of Africa.
I think the Africa Urban Forum is important, particularly because of the rising urbanization in Africa. Of course, we do know that there are places, parts of Africa, like East and West Africa, that aren't as advanced in terms of urbanization. And of course, the North and South are kind of leading in the urbanization project. With leaders and experts coming together, these kind of discussions and solutions to African problems by Africans is important as they lead the transformative or transformation agenda.
The first ever African Cities Sustainability Forum is being held in Addis Ababa under the theme Sustainable Urbanization for Africa's Transformation Agenda 2063 to address the challenges and opportunities of urban development in Africa.
That was our reporter Shegai Matau. Moving on to another development, African Urban Forum delegates expressed their inspiration from Addis Ababa's transformative developments. They expressed their keenness to emulate its transformative strategies in their own cities. Goshu Malesso has compiled the full story from Aina Havalik.
The first African Urban Forum, a 3-day event, officially kicked off on Wednesday in Addis Ababa, featuring high-ranking officials from across the continent. Langel Dilamini, Chief Executive Officer of Manzini Municipality in Eswatini, told Ethiopian news agency that Addis Ababa is making significant progress in various areas. This progress includes the Corridor Development Project, which aims to enhance the city's image and meet international smart city standards.
Coming back to Addis, it came as a shock to see an African city that is being regenerated the way it is. I saw a lot of integration. I saw smart city initiatives being implemented. I saw transformation in terms of digitization of the city, transformation that we normally see in global cities, not in African cities.
The other participant from Eswatini praised the corridor development in Addis Ababa.
It's amazing. I commend the government and the people of Ethiopia. You've done a magnificent job. We spent the day touring the city, also understanding the planning and the policy framework behind the development of Addis. It's been incredible, and we have a lot to learn.
John Dagbo, who came from Ghana, for his part said the development project of Addis Ababa city are transforming the capital's landscape into a more efficient, accessible and reliable environment.
Yeah, I think that is a very good one. I hope to learn a lot from how they are able to get funding for some of the mega projects they are doing, the wedding gardens and all the Arts and Science Museum. These are all fantastic projects that is supposed to project and make the urban city livable and even modern to host the population that exists and the ones that will come in the future. So I think it's a good project.
Participants of the forum stressed that each country can learn a great deal from one another, as there are opportunities to devise local solutions to common problems through shared knowledge and experiences.
That was a beautiful color of Ethiopian practices in the country. And now in our final segment, the Ethiopian government's robust reforms in recent years have significantly boosted the manufacturing sector, according to Minister of Industry Melaku Alabel. Speaking at a forum in Addis Ababa, Melaku highlighted key improvements in logistics, power supply and infrastructure, which have been indispensable in increasing production capacity. He also noted the impact of the national movement Made in Ethiopia, which has further energized the sector, resulting in annual growth rate of 10.1% over the past 6 years. The forum, which gathered industrial park stakeholders, focused on identifying opportunities and addressing emerging challenges in the sector. IPDC CEO Fissa Yitagasu also addressed the forum, noting that 85% of the industrial park space are now operational, with local investors contributing 51% of that engagement. Fissa outlined a vision for the next decade, aiming to transform the industrial parks into special economic zones that incorporates additional services like trade and logistics, which would support urbanization and stimulate further economic development. And now a recap of the top stories. Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed expressed gratitude for China's multifaceted support for Ethiopia. And Africa Urban Forum delegates expressed their inspiration from Addis Ababa's transformative developments. You've been watching ABC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism from the capital Addis Ababa. Keep in log with the rest of the program. Goodbye for me now.